Well, 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 here I am. I am super cool Professor Tonio, otherwise known as the book guy. Oh, I love books of every kind. E-books, print books, audiobooks, even homemade books. And you know what? I want everyone out there to also love them as much as I do, because when you step inside a book, you can learn so much about yourself and others in the world around you. It is a wonderful experience. Maybe you haven't had it lately. I'm talking today to grandparents, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, whoever, of kids in kindergarten, preschool. No, let me go back. Preschool, kindergarten. It's got to start really early. Preschool, kindergarten. Ooh, it has to start at birth. Okay, birth, all the way up to around grade 3 today. That's where I'm going today. And I'm hoping maybe, are you out there, third graders, second graders, kindergarten? Oh, are you out there? My grandson Lucas. Hey, what grade is he? And he's going into second grade. He's in second grade right now, I think. Anyway, guess what? I'm talking to you today about poetry. Ooh, I think a couple of people just cringed. Don't cringe. Maybe you say, I don't know anything about poetry. Maybe you say, I know everything about poetry. Whatever. The thing is, there are such good books out there right now for kids, birth, all the way up to grade 3. Let me introduce a few. But you know what happens? I almost forgot to tell you this. What almost happens is that when you start taking the poems out of that book and get those kids involved, I've seen them act out. I've seen them dramatize. I've seen them get up and move through a poem. I've seen them memorize a poem. Yes, I have. I've been doing this for many years. I'm Professor Tonio. And children's literature is my base, and I do love it. And you know what I just learned recently? I learned from a book that told me a lot about why it's important to share good books with kids, because you can get them to talk. You can talk with them. You can converse with them. Here she is. Dinah, MD. Oh yeah. 30 million words. Building a child's brain. Tune in, talk more, take turns. She talks about conversing with kids, and she talks about if you do that, you build their brains. That's right, that's the way she puts it. You build their brains with language, and it's lifelong. And when they leave you and go to school, they have that much more of a foundation. Oh, you've heard this before. That much more of a foundation upon which to learn. They're open to receiving it all. Whether it's, as she says, whether it's math, or art. They're going to be open to learning, and they're going to be learning a lot. That's 30 million words, building a child's brain. Dinah Susskind. Her research is so powerful. You're going to want to take a look at this. And now, some poetry. Brand new book, hot off the shelf. Yaks, yak, animal word pairs. Because kids love to play with language when they're that young. Well, what about us kids, grandparents, etc.? We like these books because they involve us too. I know they do. I'm there all the time. Linda Sue Park, illustrated by Jennifer Black Reinhardt. And what it is these are called homographs. Homographs. A homograph, there are words that sound alike, they look alike, but they have very different meanings. I'll give you a few right here. Oh, and these illustrations are hysterical. This is slugs, slug, slugs. Look at those. The boxing gloves they're wearing. It's hysterical. And then this one over here I found interesting. Bats, bat. Look at the baseball caps. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Isn't that wonderful? And you draw yourself in, and you just keep reading along. I mean, these really work. Cranes, crane. And she gives such personality, the illustrator gives such personality in her watercolors to each of these zany characters. It's just a lot of fun, you know? And it gets people to talk. I mean, you've got language here, and then you start making your own. Oh, sure you do. You start making your own with your third grader. Okay, I forgot to mention before, I hope there are some teachers out there as well. The Popcorn Astronauts and Other Biteable Rhymes. These are verses, rhymes, whatever you want to call them, poems that take you through the year with ordinary, everyday food. Let me tell you what. Okay, through food, perfect read aloud. Oh yeah. And the characters that this illustrator, who is this by the way? Deborah Brodell, illustrated by Joan Rankin. And you know, if you just look at the end pages here, look at this. See? She plays around, things are flying, people are walking, animals are playing around. It's a surreal world that a lot of kids can do a lot with in imagination, building their imagination. The big question I read, this is in the spring. I'm wondering, now you have to look down at all these animals. See, that's where the clues are, right? And you're going to start pointing out, and you're going to ask, what's going on here to that second grader? What's going on? What do you think's happening here? Well, let's see what happens. I'm wondering if you would mind, or would you ever be inclined, or is there any outside chance, because I'm asking in advance, that you could maybe find a way that it would somehow be okay? Well, here's the thing I need to know. I hate to ask, but here I go. So, do you think that you could share that yummy looking lemon square? And this one over here, which I don't have time to read because my producer said I have 5 minutes, only guacamole. Guacamole is so much better than it looks, is the way it ends. I think that's true. The popcorn astronauts. And the astronauts are in here. So you're going to say to that third grader, where are we going to find these astronauts? And what the heck is a popcorn astronaut? Just wait till you see. It's pretty funny. All right, now here we go. Oh, that one also is brand new, the popcorn astronauts. This is a classic. This is to be in every family, in every room, in every school, going up from preschool, kindergarten, first, up to around 3rd or 4th grade. Read aloud rhymes for the very young. You can't miss with Jack Prelutsky. He loves language. And illustrations by Mark Brown. I think there are well over 100. Well, it says right here, 200 little, I wrote this down, 200 little poems loosely grouped by topics such as insects, nighttime, bedtime, table manners, friends, pets. Get up and move, I say, through some of the many of these delicious poems, especially appropriate for short attention spans. I'm glad I wrote that down. Here's one, Raindrops by Aileen Fisher. This goes back a long time for me. Aileen Fisher in the 1970s, I was reading her stuff. Raindrops. How brave a ladybug must be. Each drop of rain is big as she. Can you imagine what you'd do if raindrops fell as big as you? You know what I mean? Get you thinking. Okay, so that's Read Aloud Rhymes for the Very Young by Jack Prelutsky, and Mark Brown is the illustrator. Classic. This, I cannot leave early childhood without mentioning Douglas Florian. Some of you were going, oh yeah, we know Douglas Florian. Well, I couldn't leave it. Young kids need to know about Douglas Florian, okay, because he is funny, but he's also very factual in so many ways. This is Dinah thesaurus. Prehistoric Poems and Paintings by Douglas Florian. And it is just, I learned so much. I cannot believe it. Ankylosaurus, fused lizard. So we've got carnivores and herbivores in here. And that gives you a look at, well, look at the jacket, the cover, how he spreads it out like that so that the child is just drawn in just as much as you are. Drawn in to Stegosaurus. Stegosaurus herbivorous dined on plants inside the forest. Bony plates grew on his back, perhaps to guard it from attack or to help identify a Stegosaurus girl or guy. Its brain was smaller than a plum. Stegosaurus was quite dumb. Anyway, Dinah thesaurus. Graph by Douglas Florian. And now, what? Oh, what? I want to see them too. Okay, just a minute. I'll be right back. Oh, okay, all right. All right, here he is. This is, hi! I can tell them who I am. My name is Anthony, and I'm. You can see that I'm his friend. And actually, I was made by his grandson, Anthony.
and Anthony is in middle school, and I hope he's hearing us right now because I love Anthony just as much as I like him, although he likes to always be the center of the... Oh, anyway, just to say this. Don't forget to read poems out loud and act them out. You will like them very much, and so will all those kids. Indeed. Have a nice time. See you again soon. Bye. Read, read, read.